Good morning, Guten Morgen. My name is Hilda Flavia Nakawie. I am the founder of Uganda's Fridays for Future movement. Uganda is found in Africa, a continent that emits less than 4% of the global carbon emissions, and yet it's the most affected. Uganda is the 12th most vulnerable country in the world to climate change and the 49th least prepared country to combat its effects. My country is yet to host the world's longest heated oil pipeline built by French company Total. It will be 1,445 kilometers long from Hoima in Uganda to the port of Tanga in Tanzania, passing through critical biodiversity areas. It will put major national parks, wetlands, rivers, and lakes, critical biodiversity, and not to mention livelihoods of millions at risk. It has displaced about 100,000 people, 400 villages, including mine, leaving us homeless and impoverished amidst these unprecedented times of COVID. A third of this East African crude oil pipeline will be built in Lake Victoria Basin, the second biggest freshwater body on the world, and a source of millions and a source of food to millions of people. This water body is the biggest inland lake in Africa, and up to 40 million lives depend on this, which increases the risk for further devastating human impacts in case of an oil spill. It will emit 34.3 million metric tons of carbon a year, which greatly undermines our efforts to reduce global emissions and stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius. This is dangerous and unacceptable. Developed countries like France and Germany have burnt fossil fuels for many years, but the appetite for oil and coal is still high. I have come here today to remind you that the greed exhibited by your leaders and the Global North corporations is a danger to the lives of people in Africa. It is a danger to our wildlife and a threat to future generations. The Global North is too greedy to think about the children in Africa who go hungry as a result of climate change-induced famine. The Global North is too greedy to think about the children in Africa who go hungry due to human-induced famine. The Global North's love for money from fossil fuels is growing every day that passes by. This love is a cause of death to indigenous people. It is harming birds, wild animals, and humans that bear the brunt of the climate crisis. Please stop contributing to the climate crisis. You are putting an end to innocent lives. Why Germany? Why France? Why Europe? Why the climate injustices against Africans, Asians, Latinos, and the rest of the global South? Why don't you give us a chance to live? From colonialism, slave trade, apartheid, to climate change, is this another form of injustice we have to endure? You don't care because you can afford to adapt to climate change, and yet we can't? France is aware Uganda is among the most vulnerable countries to climate change and one of the countries least prepared to combat its effects. But its oil giant, Total, is determined to worsen the situation. German company RWE is aware villages are being displaced but does not care. Luthras must stay. Coal must stop. We should stop expansion of oil, gas, and coal if we want to stay alive. Developed countries are switching from fossil fuels to renewable energy, yet forcing poor countries to open new oil wells and build pipelines. The East African crude oil pipeline is a clear evidence that Europe is not about to stop burning fossil fuels. Europe developed by burning fossil fuels, but that is not the path we want to take. Uganda and the rest of Africa wants to develop, but not at the expense of nature and human lives. Development should not come at the cost or at the expense of nature. Fossil fuels must be kept in the ground. I know that the German Export Credit Agency could provide finances for the East African crude oil pipeline, and I'm here to tell you that this is a terrible idea. We need investment in renewable energy. Africa receives sunlight throughout the year. This is a gift. Let's unwrap it. And I call on Deutsche Bank, Germany's biggest bank, to stop supporting Total Energies and RWE that are displacing people and villages, putting profits above people. This is not the way to go. 100 billion in military? Why not invest in renewable energy? The future is sustainable and clean. Let's keep it that way and let's work towards it. This is a time in history where humanity shifts to a clear level of understanding. No sugarcoating, no greenwashing. Saying the truth as it is. The ball is in your hands, Germany, Europe, to choose what side of history you will be remembered on. And at the end of this, I hope that we do not drown in our own pride. It's time to turn words and promises into action. Thank you.